turn there.
Blog Talk Radio.
Okay.
Hold
that
on.
is why we think that the Sasquatch are more human than apes.
Welcome to Sasquatch Watch Radio with your host, Billy Willard, and the Blog Squatter. Strap in, hold on tight, get ready, because it is about to go down.
Hello, everyone. Today is March 9th, 2009. Welcome to another episode of Sasquatch Watch Radio. This is Billy Willard coming to you as your host. And, of course, I need to welcome my distinguished DB blog squatcher to the show.
Well, thank you, Billy. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing just fine. And we've got a great show for you all tonight, don't we, DB?
Yes, we do. We've got a surprise guest for you. We didn't mention this before. He's already on the line, all the way from I believe Moscow. Igor Burtsev is on the line, and he'll be talking to us tonight about this topic that we've chosen. Bigfoot, Sasquatch, more like a man or more like an ape. But we'll be getting to that in just a second. Now you're going to ask me if I have any news, and actually I don't. I want us to just launch right into this as quickly as we can. So what have you got?
Well, I don't have anything. I need to get on these lines and find out which one of these. I've already got two people on hold, and I need to find out which one of these is Mr. Ron Losey. So let me see if I can find him.
Okay.
Area code 804. Who do we have here? Area code 804.
What 804?
Yeah, I don't know who's 804.
No, he's not talking, so go to the next one.
I'll go to the next one. Area code 865.
It's me, Billy.
Okay, here we got Mr. Ron Losey,
All right.
Tennessee. How you doing tonight, Ron?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing just fine, and we've got Igor on the line from Russia as well.
That's what I heard. That's awesome.
How you doing, Igor?
Yes, I do. I do. Nice.
Yeah, we know that you're tired because it's very early in the morning in Russia right now, so we sympathize with you.
Yes, it is just time for sleeping, but I am here. Yes.
Very good, very good. Well, we'll get right into our subject tonight. DB, did you have anything you wanted to start off with, or should we just go ahead and let Ron or Igor just tell us their thoughts as to our subject here?
I really want to hear them talk. Especially, we were just hearing Igor talk before the show started, and he obviously has a lot to say. So we want to make sure that we leave room for that. And both of our guests have got to stake their claims on their position. So let's get to it.
Well, I'll volunteer the floor to Mr. Bortsev. I have a lot of respect for his work.
All right, go right ahead, Igor. You're in charge.
So, Igor, the question is, Bigfoot, is it a human or an ape? What do you think?
I think that Sasquatch is more very, very close to human. It's maybe even human, but of another kind, of another type, another species, like not as we modern people, but very, very close to this. And they have consciousness. They have maybe even they use the speech. The last information say that they have speech also. And that is why we say that Sasquatch are like a man or subspecies of a man. subspecies. Right.
Okay. DB, I'm going to ask you to keep them busy while I go and get into live chat with Blog Talk to work out the issues.
Yeah, you go right ahead. I mean, some people are complaining that they don't have sound yet, so Billy's going to take care of that. But Ron, while he's working on that, what can you say about the other side of the issue?
Well, I would
about what? About yes. You ask me or what?
I'm asking Ron this time, and then we'll.
Oh yes.
Well, I would say, first of all, I don't know if there are some different species within the Bigfoot realm. I think that just in the United States we could possibly have 3 different subspecies. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, and I think that the classic Sasquatch that you hear of, like from the Patterson-Gimlin film, is probably a somewhat different animal from Florida's skunk ape, for example. And in Russia they have the almas. I would agree that the almas does appear to be more human or subhuman than what I consider a classic Sasquatch. And I believe that Sasquatch is an ape because the characteristics that go along with the reports all point to ape from what I can see.
Right. What do you have to say about that, Igor? Do you think that it's possible that there could be several different humanoid creatures wandering around that are still undocumented, one of them being closely related to humankind in some way, and then another one being more closely related to an ape?
You say that if they distinguish of the ape, what? Sorry, repeat me, please, the essence of this question.
Yeah, Ron, what is it about the, say we take the skunk ape as an example. What is it about the skunk ape that convinces you to think of it more of as an ape than as a possible, like a human type thing?
Well, mostly has to do with, I would say, differentiating between a skunk ape and a Sasquatch. Most of the skunk ape reports that I've read, the animal's typically smaller, a little bit more aggressive, and doesn't seem to have the consistency with the number of toes on its foot, and is possibly more arboreal than a Sasquatch report. You know, the area is so much more swampy down in Florida, and I don't see any, and forgive me ahead of time if I offend anybody, I don't see any real link between a skunk ape, a Sasquatch, and a human. You know, they all walk upright, the same basic shape of the foot, but everything that goes along with the Sasquatch or a skunk ape report, as near as I can see, that there's a definite differentiation between a human being and a Sasquatch or a skunk ape or an almas.
Right. Well, Igor, now I know you were saying earlier. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I want to say that, for example, in history we know several cases when, for example, the Sasquatch or Sasquatch-like creature in our country, like Almaty, have the relations with the humans, and even, for example, in case of Zana, this wild woman Zana, called Zana, was captured in Caucasus in 19th century, in the end of the 19th century, and she lives between the people, between the humans, and even one man was like a husband for this wild woman Zana, and even Zana had children from this man, from Abkhaz man. In Abkhazia they lived, and even she gave birth 4 times, and we know the son, the last son of this woman Zana, he lived in the mountains in one village in Abkhazia, and he died in 1954. And now we have his skull, and he is very, very different from the local people outlook. He looks like Papua man from Guinea, but he lived in Abkhazia, in south of Russia. You see, that is one case. Another case was in United States, in British Columbia, Canada. It was in 1924 when one man, Albert Haussmann, was captured, was taken from when he was sleeping. He was taken by Sasquatch, and the Sasquatches kept him several days until he ran away from them.
Right.
And he told this Albert Haussmann, he said that they had something like speech. They spoke to each other,
right.
Though he did not understand what they say.
Right.
And also it was another case in Mongolia in 50s of last century, that once one man was a teacher in Mongolia. He was captured by almas, like Sasquatch-like people, and they kept him several days in a cave, and two women paid attention to him and guarded him, did not let him run away. Mm-hmm. But after these several days, they even brought him a meal. They fed him, and also they paid him attention. But after they just once he used one moment and escaped from this cave. And after he said this history to other people, you see, that means their habits are very, very close to humans' habits, and even they have interest to the humans. That is why we say that these creatures are very, very close to humans, though they have some differences.
Mm-hmm.
That's
all right,
I wanted to say.
I think
sure.
we have, just so that everyone knows, we got some folks on hold. I'm sure that they've got some questions. So I'm going to start bringing some of these guys on. Caller from the 571 area code, you're on the air.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Jason?
Me?
Yep. Did you have a question for Igor or Ron, or are you just listening in?
Just having problems with the
internet.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. When you ask me a question, please say a little more slow, because sometimes I don't understand. Yes, it's also seen not good. Your speak. Yes. Thank you.
What we'll do is if somebody asks a question, we'll make sure that you got it by repeating it to you a little more slowly.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And let me bring on, I believe we have Shannon on the line. Shannon, are you there?
What Shannon? This word I did not understand.
Oh, Shannon is someone's name. We think that we have somebody on the line that wants to ask a question.
Ah, yes, I understand. Please,
Shannon,
what's the question?
All right, I guess not. I'll put them back on mute. Okay, we can continue on.
Well, I'll jump in here.
Okay, well,
Billy.
we didn't get any questions, but maybe Ron has something he would like to say.
Yeah, I listened to everything that Igor had to say, and I would say that when you read the story about Zana, and I have read the story dozens of times, some of the things that stick out in my mind are when they tried to, basically tame her. If she came indoors, she couldn't stand how warm it was. She refused to wear clothing. She did not want to eat cooked food. When she had her children, she took them to the cold stream and washed them off, and some of them didn't survive because of that. And so I'm not going to dispute that she existed or that she was not of what we call modern-day man. She didn't have a language, or if she did, we couldn't communicate with her. However, I think that the way I see it, if she was an almasty, whatever you want to say, then it could be that the almasty is a little more closely related to human than what I would term the classic Sasquatch that you read about. And,
okay, Igor, did you get what he said, or should we repeat some of it to you?
Yes, but please, you repeat question. If you have a question to me, please repeat slowly.
All right. Well, Ron said that he thinks that the almasty might be more closely related to human, but that he doesn't think that the Sasquatch or the what we call a skunk ape, a southern Sasquatch, would be the same thing. He thinks that those would be two different things.
Oh, you see, so, for example, I was more than 1 month, 5 weeks, I lived in one farm in Tennessee, in state of Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
and the owner was Janice Carter, and
right.
she observed such creatures for more than 30 years. She looked at them and she knew all the peculiarities of these creatures. And she said that this creature even can speak. They can repeat words, English in English or on some Indian names, Indian languages. They use words of Indian languages, Native Americans languages, and they can understand people. They can relate. They can answer the question of the people, etc. And we believe her, and you know that after that some their words were tape recorded, and after we know that it was investigation, research, what is their sounds, and it looks like speech. It's possible to distinguish the words. That is why we can say that they can use speech. They can speak, this creature. That is why we say even that American Sasquatches are very, very close to humans, and now we think they are not so much different from those of almasties or almases here in our side of the globe. You see that even sometimes we say they are more developed than almases or almasties here, because here we haven't such definite information that they can speak, but American Sasquatches can speak, and we believe to Janice because he lived even very, very close, neighborly to these creatures, and she could observe them for many years. You see, this is a very interesting experience.
Yeah, what's interesting to me, Igor, is that she could record them with the recorder, but she couldn't get a picture of them after all that time. I mean, this animal can differentiate a camera from a tape recorder. I don't understand that. I don't believe anything that Janice Carter says. She's got no proof.
Okay, Igor, let me tell you what Ron just said. He said that he has a problem with Janice Carter because she comes forward with some kinds of evidence, but there are other kinds of evidence that she fails to bring forward, such as photographic evidence and that sort of stuff.
Yes, about photographic evidence. At first, I should say that it is very, very difficult to photograph such a creature. Even if you try to photograph gorillas, for example, in the zoo, you cannot make very clear photos of them between the green, between the forest, between the plants. It's very difficult. It's necessary to be very skilled photographer to do so. Janice is not so skilled photographer as she is not professional photographer. This is first. Secondly, she did not intend to photograph them, and even her grandfather kept in the secret that information. He did not share this information about the Sasquatches with other people, with scientists, because he believed that these creatures are something of he had some religious relation to these creatures, and that is why he did not share that information. And also Janice followed the same, that she did not think that it is necessary to speak to anybody about such creatures. And she did not try to photograph them for a long time. Just last year, when we contacted her, she tried to photograph, but still no good photographs we have. There are some photographs of that creature made by Janice or other people there, but they are not of good quality. It's very difficult to distinguish something there in the trees, but there are some not very good photographs, and it is a big problem to make a good photo of them. Also, this is because that creatures don't want to be photographed. This is also the problem. They don't want to be photographed.
Well, I've seen hundreds of photographs of gorillas, chimpanzees.
And they are, they are very sensitive. They feel when the people want to photograph them. They escape this. They escape camera. They escape automatic camera when you want to put. Also in our country, in the forest in Russia, in Kirov region, there is one man, Anatoly. He tried to photograph these creatures. He set several automatic camera in the forest, but he could not catch that creature. They somehow understand. They feel when the camera is here, and they escape to be photographed.
Okay. Let me start getting some callers. I've got about 3 lined up. And when I bring you on callers, I'm going to ask you to get to your question quickly because it looks like people are going to keep calling in on the show. So if you can make it nice and brief. The first caller I'll take, I believe, is Henry May down in Mississippi.
That would be me. Good evening, gentlemen, and good evening to Igor.
Yeah.
Actually, it's morning where he is.
That's right. 4 o'clock in the mornings when he started.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to say that, the reason a lot of people are wondering why, there's no good photographs of the ones that Janice is, claims to be habituating. Well, because she's not very good with a camera. And she told me this last year. She's not very good with a camera. So she cannot take a straight picture to save her life. She's just not good with cameras. But anyway, I wanted to throw in.
May I say one thing? For example, all the people know the Patterson film, the film made by Roger Patterson in 1967. This is a very nice example. For 1 minute, Patterson shot with a camera one Sasquatch. And we studied this film for a long time, for many years, and we attracted many specialists, many people, for example, biomechanics, criminalists, also some cinematographers, etc. And all the people included in this investigation confirmed that this film was real, that this is this creature shot in the film is really not fake. This is some creature his game is different from the humans. His walking is different from humans, and also some peculiarities of anatomy is distinguished from the humans. And we are sure, 100% sure that this subject in the film of Patterson is really Sasquatch, and it is very heavy creature of, it was a woman, and all the body covered with hairs, and her face looks like the Neanderthal face, with pragmatism of mouth, and also with flat nose, with deep eyes, and this, for example, this film is, but this film did not prove that until now, for more than 40 years, the scientists, the common science, does not believe to this, to Patterson, to this film. They don't want to recognize such a creature shot in this film. And maybe another photograph will appear, but again they will say, oh, it is a fake, it is not a real creature. The problem now is not only not only to recognize photograph. The problem is to recognize the existence of this creature, and if we recognize that they can be, we can attract more forces, more means to photograph them, or somehow with another way to prove their existence. Also, I should say that there are some signs. For example, they make braids in mans of horses, as in our country here, on this side, and also in your side, in United States. For example, in Missouri state, we have many photographs of the braids plated by the Sasquatches in mans of horses, and these braids are not such accurate as human made, but they are very, very nice braids, and also they can make some other artifacts, for example, like balls. On that Carter farm, when I was there, we have found one small clay ball with the hairs in it, and it was made by Sasquatches. That means they make some artifacts with their hands, like braids and these balls. And also they construct some markers in the forest from the trees, from the sticks, from logs. They make like tipi-like constructions in the forest. We call them markers. There are many such signs which are proofs of their existence, and also such markers or artifacts say that these creatures are very, very close to humans. They can construct such markers, they can make braids, they can make balls from the glue, and you see, that is why we say that these people are very, very developed, these creatures are very developed, and they are human-like. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Burtsev, I understand what you're saying, and you've made some good points, but I think some of the researchers who are listening will be eager to point out that we have never observed them making the balls, and we've never observed them braiding the hair, and we've never observed them making the stick structures. So they'll argue that they haven't really made them, that we've associated something that they didn't make with them.
But who can make such braids? For example, when, for example, you see in the morning that for a night new braids appeared in the manes of the horses, and nobody came from the people. Nobody was here. Nobody was near the horse, but in the morning you can see the braids appeared. Of course, it is possible. It is possible to be doubt, but in the, for example, in the wild, some hunters just see one footprint, and they understand that one animal was here. What is his? What was? For example, tiger. Tiger left the footprints, and for example, a very skilled hunter, he did not see the bear or the tiger, but he understands that this animal was here due to these footprints. Also, about footprints of this creature. It is if we don't see the creature itself, but we see his footprints or the signs of his activity. Those people who study for a long time this subject, this creature, they can say that yes, it is their sign. For example, in our forest, in Kirovsky district, in Kirovsky region in Russia, we have the same constructions, the same structures, tipi-like, as for example in Tennessee I saw in Tennessee, and I saw such constructions in Kirovsky region. Who could make them if no people make them? And also they are similar. They are similar to those constructions which are in the United States. It is very, very interesting. Also the braids. The braids in Azerbaijan, I studied them 30 years ago in Azerbaijan, and the same braids appeared in Missouri, for example, in 2004. The same braids. Could not be. They could not be fake, because they are similar in Azerbaijan, here in Caucasus, and in Missouri. And also about these constructions, it's very interesting similarity.
Right. Well, I think that
well,
those are good points.
Can I say something before I hang up?
Go ahead.
Say something. I just want to say that I just wish people would be more respectful. I mean, you can disagree with Janice all you want. You can disagree with Igor all you want. But the point is, we don't know everything, so let's not act like we do. And with that, I'll hang up.
That's a fair point, Henry. Fair
point. See y'all later.
All right. Good night, Henry. DB, I do have 3 other people on hold and have been on hold for quite some time.
Okay. Igor, can we get one more caller in before we get back to you?
Oh, yes.
Okay, we're gonna take a caller now then.
All right. Caller from the 540 area code. You're on the air. 540 area code. You're on the air.
Is that this one?
Yep, that's this one.
Yes.
Oh, okay. This is Willis. I was just trying to listen in because I can't get on my computer.
Not a problem. I'll mute you out, but you'll still be able to hear.
Thank you.
Caller from the. See here. Caller from the 304 area code. You're on the air.
Hi, Billy. This is Nancy 1WV. I'm having the same trouble. I can't pick any sound up. I can get in the chat, but I just wanted to listen in tonight. Great
All
guest,
right.
by the way.
Thanks for calling in. We'll mute you out. You'll still be able to hear the show.
Thank you.
Let's see. Who else we have here? Caller from the 804 area code. You're on the air.
Hey, Billy. It's 7-Eleven. I'm having the same problem as everybody else. I'm just
Wow. Well,
that's what the callers are here for.
Looks like I'm going to have a little talk with Blog Talk after this night is over. I'm sorry about that, but I'll mute you out, but you'll still be able to hear the show. Let's see. Caller from the, I believe this is down where Ron's at. Here's another caller from the 865 area code. You're on the air.
Hey, guys. This is Matt, friend of Ron.
Yeah, Matt. How are you?
Been involved with the Bigfoot thing for a little while, and I just want to bring up a point. And like the last caller said, I don't want to be disrespectful in any way. But a lot of the proof that Mr. Bortsev is bringing up in the show tonight is basically conjecture, and there is no proof to back up these things in the real sense. You know, we're looking for real proof, whether or not these things are human, subhuman, or ape. Regardless of that, there are people out there who say they know things, but they're not willing to prove these things. And that's one of the things that really hinder us as researchers when we're trying to figure out what's going on. You know, I'm not the type to go out with a gun to try to kill Sasquatch or whatever, but there are a lot of people who may be. But the thing is, until we have some of these folks step up who supposedly have this information and have this proof, there will never be an answer. I'll hang up and keep listening.
Thank you a lot, Matt.
Igor, do you need us to repeat that for you?
What?
Do you need us to repeat that question for you?
Yes, shortly, please.
Right. Well, that was Matt, and he had a few points. The first point was that he wanted to say that he respected your opinion, but his opinion was that the kind of proof that you're talking about is a conjectural proof. It's not a direct proof, and what he wants is a direct proof. Like he's looking for hair, he's looking for a footprint, he's looking for. I guess everybody would rather have a body. He says people are often willing to say they know, but they're not willing to show proof of what they say that they know, and he wants to know what kind of evidence.
May I answer this question, please?
Certainly.
About the proof. Now, on this stage, it is not enough just enthusiasm of the people who search for Sasquatches. It is this proof costs very, very much. It needs means. It needs funding to continue this research, and we cannot continue this research properly without funding. For example, for me, I'm sure if I come to United States, to Tennessee or somewhere else, I could arrange, because I have a big experience. I studied this subject for 40 years, for more than 40 years, and I'm sure that I could do something to prove them, to shoot with the camera or with the tape recorder, etc., to make a good photo. But it needs much money. It costs money much. Nobody gives such funding. For me, for example, I haven't opportunity to go to live in that area where the Sasquatches or Almases live. It is necessary the attention of the science, big science, the attention of the state. We need even some kind of law to protect this creature and to observe this creature, to study, to research. It should be some scientific institute to research, not as now, for example, some volunteers go here and there and try to prove. For example, that just Janice Carter, I know that she has big problems for her life. She had not enough means for her life, for example. And it is necessary to have some state institutions or scientific institutions to study this creature. Nobody will bring you proofs just for nothing. It's necessary to put money, to put funding to this research to achieve proofs. It's necessary to do something, but not wait. Just somebody will bring these proofs. I cannot bring you proofs without funding. This is the answer for this question, I think.
All right. Ron, let me hear your response.
Well, I think there's been a big misunderstanding. First of all, if I was disrespectful, I don't mean any disrespect towards anybody, but I am allowed to have my own opinion.
Oh, for example, excuse me, I want to add, for example, that man, Bin Laden, how much funding is paid to find him and to capture, but they could not achieve this. But these creatures are also such they very, very adapted to the nature. They don't like to be captured, to be photographed, to be killed by the people, and it is very, very difficult to find them. to photograph them. It needs much funding to arrange this and to achieve the results. That is just comparison with those criminals like Bin Laden. Please.
Okay.
Right.
Sorry, Ron. Go ahead, Ron. Say what you were going to say.
No big deal. Earlier when he was talking about the Patterson footage, I believe the Patterson footage. I think it's one of our touchstones in this, and I believe it was an animal. Getting back to the subject of is Bigfoot human or is it an ape? I think if you do what I've done, I've been interested in this for years. I heard all the stories. At one time, I could have told you I thought I had pretty well read everything. But with the internet now, you can go on almost every day, and there's new reports. But going back, through what people will call the classics, take the last 15 years off of this and read the reports of the sightings, okay? I decided I would learn about some of the other primates. So I started with anthropology books, with reading Diane Fossey's book and Jane Goodall's book, and I won't get this woman's name right, Beirut Galbicas. She studied orangutans in Borneo. Okay, read all those books, and the things that you hear in Bigfoot reports are right in line with what these ladies had to say about the other great apes they were studying. Whether it's they throw rocks or they have a smell when they get scared. They go right in line with Bigfoot reports. And so I say, personally, Bigfoot is an ape. The only thing that I see that has in similarity with humans is that it walks upright and it has the same basic shape of a foot. Okay, obviously, chimpanzees have a lot of the same DNA as humans, so they are human-like in some ways. They have some of the same ways that they parent or whatever. But that was the subject of the show tonight is Bigfoot human or ape, and that was what I was just wanting to talk about tonight.
Well, I wonder if I could put in a pointer here, and this wouldn't be mine. I was talking to Henry Franzoni earlier today, and we just happened to mention the subject of tonight's show. And he said that back in the 90s, between 93 and 98, he was working with Peter Byrne and Ron Glickman on some of these issues. And one of the things that they did, and this is long before the modern internet age, they stabilized a version of the Patterson-Gimlin film, and it was a first generation copy version. So it was a real clean, good version that they stabilized. And the first thing that they noticed once they had it stabilized were some of the characteristics that the Patty creature showed that were more human-like than ape-like. And he mentioned two of them to me. He said that one was it had a big behind, which is not at all like an ape. That's more like a human being. And that it had that pointy bit at the back of the head, and those are both characteristics which we think humans picked up because we became bipedal, but he said that they were human characteristics and not ape characteristics. And so from his point of view, watching that creature, he was seeing more of a human than he was seeing an ape, to put it in terms of our discussion tonight.
Excuse me. This time, I think on this stage, it is not much important are these creatures more human-like or more ape-like. You see, this question is important for another question, to kill or not to kill them. But, of course, we are against killing such creatures to prove their existence. It is necessary to observe them, to study them in their wild conditions, not to capture and to bring in some laboratories to cut them, to investigate to what they are. Only from this viewpoint it is important, are they human or not human. But we can now it's more important just to recognize such creatures as if they are human or ape. It is not so much important. My opinion is. Let us prove their existence, and after we shall discuss what is it, human or ape. But to recognize this creature, it's necessary to put this, as I say, funding, and to unite our efforts of those who believe that they are apes and those who believe that they are humans. And it is very, very difficult question to distinguish ape or from the human. Though now we know, for example, gorillas, chimpanzee, and orangutan, 3 kinds of apes existing in the earth. I don't know, maybe, yes, and we know only one species of human, or modern human, but maybe between them there is another species which is very close to human and also very close to the ape. But let us recognize such species and protect them from killing, from eliminating them. For example, now the ecology is such a big problem that there are less and less areas, wild areas on the earth where these creatures can live, can habitate. This is the problem. But I repeat that it is not much important. It's not so important now to determine if they are humans or ape. That is my opinion.
Okay. Let me grab a caller. He's been waiting patiently, and I'm going to ask Bill, please get to your question very quickly so that we can get some other callers on the show. Bill Green, welcome to the show. And do you have a question for Ron or Igor?
Yes, I have a question for Igor. Igor, I really enjoy reading your books and stuff about the Russian Sasquatch. And I'd like to know, has there been any recent reports of sightings or footprints of the Russian Sasquatch recently?
Igor, would you like me to repeat that for you?
Just in short, please.
All right.
What is the question itself?
Well, first, Bill says that he enjoyed your books, and he wants to know if there are any recent reports of sightings or footprint finds in your research area.
Yes, we have, for example, just several days ago, we had the new information from Kemerovo region, it is close to Altai, that people saw many times such creature there. Also, we have reports from North Salehard that there were new footprints seen on the snow. And also we have new information from Kiev region. It is 800 kilometers from Moscow, 800 kilometers away from Moscow. We have new signs of the existence there, such creatures. That is why we have new information about the existing of these creatures here in Russia also.
All right.
So, Igor, are you planning on writing another new book about Bigfoot?
Bill wants to know if you're going to write another book about Bigfoot.
We now. Oh yes, it is good question. Just 1 month ago, we issued a new book by Dmitry Bayanov. Dmitry Bayanov. I'm a publisher, and he's author. It is Bigfoot research. This Russian vision. It is a book written in English. Yes. We could, but we want to distribute this book also in the United States. Yes.
All right.
Bill said
okay, Igor, it was great talking to you again, and Billy and DB, I hope you guys continue to have a great show tonight and stuff like that.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. What should I answer?
Let me get. I tell you what, Igor. Let me get this other caller on the line. There's another person that's been holding on here for quite a while. Let me. This may be Mr. Keating, 740.
I don't know. Is it me?
Yeah, that's you.
Okay, I'll make this short and brief because I know there's other people trying to get in. With all due respect to Igor and Ron and whomever else is the guest on the show tonight, the only question I have is, we need to really consider what we're trying to put out there as the gospel truth, instead of theorizing that Bigfoot does have a bit of a language. I think we need to see these things opening their mouths and the language comes out and understanding what they say, instead of speculating that what is going on is actually a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot talking. Because if we find out in the future that this information was incorrect, then I think a lot of us are going to have crow on our face, and it's really not going to do the investigation any good at all. Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
Thanks. Hi. What? Hello.
Do you need us to repeat what Don said for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, because I understand what he said, but I don't understand the question.
Well, he wasn't asking a question. Don was just making a statement. That's kind of what he likes to do.
Sorry, I don't understand.
He was not asking a question. He was.
Yes. Thank you. Understand.
Okay. Let's. I tell you what. How about we take a quick break and let everybody have a breather? I'm gonna go to a commercial so that everybody can have a little bit of a break, and then when we come back, we'll take this back up again. So everybody, nobody hang up. Everybody stay online, and we will be right back in just a moment. So everybody just hold tight. We'll be right back.
Oh, yes. Hello.
You are listening to Sasquatch Watch Radio. Stay tuned.
Hi, Billy.
Billy's running a commercial right now. He'll be right back.
I want to say just 2 words. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity to speak my opinion here on this radio, or what you say, Watch Sasquatch. And I think that this today's discussion will help to research this creature, to research this subject. Thank you very much. Hi.
Thank you, Igor. I'll be right back.
Are you tired of the same old boring radio? Looking for something with a bit of an edge? Then sit down, strap in, and hold on tight, for you're about to be taken beyond the edge.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's get ready to rumble! It's Down and Dirty Paranormal Talk Radio that takes you beyond the edge. Join us here on Blog Talk Radio Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern for Beyond the Edge Radio, as we interview the everyday investigator to the seasoned researcher. From ghosts and hauntings, demonology, UFO and alien life forms, cryptozoology, psychic phenomenon, and other mysteries and unusual anomalies. Paranormal Talk Radio that goes beyond the edge, and it's right here every Friday night at 9 as we take you from the boring everyday normal into the world of the paranormal. Think you're brave enough? Then lock your doors, open your minds, and join us if you dare. Beyond the Edge Radio, Friday nights 9 p.m. Eastern, only on Blog Talk Radio. Beyond the Edge Radio is an anomalous entertainment production. Check us out at beyondtheedgeradio.com.
Okay, we're back.
Okay.
Just had to take a little break there, and Igor, I did hear what you said, and I thank you for coming on the show as well. If you want to hang on for a little bit, we've still got another half hour, but I'm gonna let Ron talk for a little bit because we've kind of not heard too much from Ron tonight. And Ron, I apologize.
No big deal.
Want to get you on the air as well so that you can talk a little bit. Now, DB, did you have any questions for anybody? I haven't even been watching the chat.
I haven't seen any questions going by in the chat room lately.
Okay. All right. So, Ron, did you have anything else that you wanted to bring out at this point?
Well, I didn't mean to start a big fight with everybody, and I don't want anybody, taking sides. We got off on left field as far as I'm concerned. It wasn't my intention to make anybody mad, but, everybody else has got their right to their opinion, and so do I. And I think that, go back to Jane Goodall. She went to Lake Tanganyika or wherever in Africa. I'm sure I mispronounced that too, but that's okay. She was there for a couple of months before she laid eyes on a chimpanzee. And she was surrounded by them. They were everywhere. I learned a whole lot about primates just by reading what she had done. And I think that, like Igor was saying about the funding of some, government agency or some wealthy philanthropist was to put up some money for somebody to go out and do some similar research here in the States somewhere, or, maybe Canada or whatever. They may be able to get some better results. Most of the people that I know that are into this are just, they're just people with a mortgage and 2 car payments like everybody else in America, so they don't have a whole lot of time and money to put into it. They're basically going out on the weekends or their days off and looking for evidence. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, and I found it a lot easier to track any big game animal up there because the forest is totally different up there than it is down here in the south. I'm in East Tennessee up against the North Carolina border. And when I go out in the woods here now, all the ground is covered in leaves, and it's hard to track deer, much less a Bigfoot. I haven't really found what I would call any evidence here. I've seen some places where I saw what people call markers. I don't know what to make of them. I couldn't find any hair on them. I saw places in tall grass where there were large bipedal footprints that were 4 or 5 feet apart, but not enough definition to make a casting. And
yeah, it's hard, Ron. I mean, your area is very, very similar to our area. I mean, when you go out to the forest here, you have a lot of leaf cover, and stuff, and it's not really conducive to prints. It makes it hard, and you're right. I mean, it's just like anything that we call evidence. We truly can't call it much until we have some proof that of what's causing. For example, you mentioned the stick structures.
I think if
we don't know.
I think if Bigfoot was closer to human, I think that by now, first of all, I'm probably going to start another big fight here. I don't believe in what science, when you ask a scientist, an anthropologist, to explain evolution as far as, the great apes or primates in general are concerned, and we've all seen those graphs with little branches coming down. This one's got gorillas, this one's got orangutans, this one's got chimpanzees. They can't tell you where modern man comes from on that graph. There's a missing link, and I've read college anthropology textbooks and was surprised that those professors are so dogmatic about their beliefs because there's so many holes. I mean, they've got bits and pieces, but they don't have any. They don't have it. It's not an exact science, I guess, is a way of putting it. I just think if Bigfoot was closer to a human, that by now, through the course of history, they would have learned to use fire. They would have, some kind of speech. And I know that people say that they do, but again, there's no proof. And so earlier somebody brought up something about, there's not any proof. I saw a thing in the chat room there, and I think that there is proof. I think that if there had been a crime committed and we had the type of proof that we have, there's enough evidence to convict a Bigfoot of a crime. We've got footprints with dermal ridges, and incidentally, the dermal ridges that they found in Bigfoot footprints are consistent with other known primates. The ridges themselves are about twice the thickness of humans, and I just think that between the hairs that they found, that they can't figure out what they come from, and there's dozens of them around. We do have the Patterson footage. I believe it's real. They've spent thousands and thousands of dollars trying to disprove it, and they can't do it. They went to Disney and wanted to know if Disney was involved, and Disney said there was no way unless they used computer generated. And they didn't have that capability at the time. As far as I'm concerned, the Patterson footage is real. I don't think anybody can disprove it.
Right.
So I just feel like there is enough evidence to prove the existence of the animal. I know there's a lot of people that I see the Bigfoot world broken up into four pieces, where some people feel like you have to kill one to prove it exists. Some people feel that you shouldn't ever kill one under any circumstances, and then there's the people that feel that they're human, and then the people that feel that they're ape. Well,
right.
Hi.
I just think that there's enough evidence to prove the animal exists without having to kill one. I don't think that's necessary.
Right. One thing I want to do real quick, I got an instant message from someone that wanted me to say to Igor, Janice Carter, Igor is saying hello to you. So Janice says hello, Igor.
Oh, thank you. You see, may I speak?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. You see, I also want to say that, for example, Professor Porshnev, the late Professor Porshnev, considers that this creature are Neanderthal man, and between ape and human, there are many species more human-like, for example, Pithecanthropus or Neanderthal or even Australopithecus, which is close to ape. And that is why we say between ape and human, there are many other species, human-like. And we consider that this creature, Sasquatch or Almas, they belong to Neanderthal type, Neanderthal species. And all the last achievements of science, archaeology also say that these Neanderthal people, Neanderthal men, they were very, very, very close to the humans, and even almost humans. And they could speak, they could do some activities, not social activities, but maybe they could use tools. Now these Sasquatch and Almases, they could lose this possibility to use tools. This is one what I wanted to say. And also, once in 1968, it was such exhibit like Iceman, which it was a wild man frozen in the ice. In United States, they showed on the exhibition, and Sanderson from the United States and Evelmans from France, they studied this body of Iceman, and they come to conclusion that this was that Professor Porshnev was right, that this species, this exhibit, belongs to Neanderthal men. And also in 1997 in France, also was similar exhibit. We call it Homo de Bourganov, in the Bourganov place it was. It was a body of 2.5 meters long, very heavy. He was also frozen, but also its outlook was very similar to human, but it was covered with hair. And in both cases, as Iceman and also Homme de Bourganov, they disappeared after being informed by the mass media. As mass media, one magazine published, for example, about this exhibit. After that, the owner just took away this exhibit, and they disappeared. Until now, nobody knows where they are, these exhibits. But due to these scientists, Sanderson, Evelmans, and other investigators, other researchers, these bodies also confirm that such creatures are more human-like than ape-like. This I wanted to just to mention these cases also. Maybe they are not so famous. Please.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've had some interesting conversation here tonight, DB.
Yeah, there's been a little bit that's been perhaps a bit controversial, but some thoughts have been aired, and people have some things to think about. You know, I do have one question that's coming from someone named Nancy 1, West Virginia, or WV, so I think that to be West Virginia. And her question is for you, Igor. She asks, are there any sightings in Boyuk in Azerbaijan?
In first was what, Boyuk?
It's B-O-Y-U-K. B-O-Y-U-K.
Boyuk.
Yes.
In Azerbaijan?
Yes. She asks if there are any sightings there in that region.
Yes. In Azerbaijan they call this creature Gulebani or Alarwadi, or some other Meshadam, for example. That means if we translate this, it is just forest man. They call him. I was in Azerbaijan for many seasons and studied this creature, and I gathered many eyewitnesses, many reports of eyewitnesses about this creature in Azerbaijan. And also I told about braids which this creature make in horses. in mans of horses. You see, that is in Azerbaijan they exist such creatures.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know this word Beyuk. Beyuk means big, Beyuk. Maybe somebody calls such creature as Beyuk. That means great or big.
Okay.
It's local name.
Okay. I have another question for you, and this sort of implies a question also. Cryptic Squatch wants to know, have you ever seen a Bigfoot on all fours?
All four? What do you say?
All four hands and legs. Walking on hands and feet.
Hands and legs. All four.
Quadruped.
Quadruped.
Yes.
Yes. They also can use four to move. For example, when there is some danger for her life or their life, they use quadruped game to escape. For example, they move more quickly on the four.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they do so. Yes, they move on four.
Have you ever seen a Sasquatch yourself?
No. It's unfortunately for all 4 decades of my study this creature, I have seen only twice their footprints. Once it was in the mountain of Pamir Alai, close to Pamir in Middle Asia. In 1979, it was good footprints. There were good footprints on the earth, just close to our tents. We were 5 persons in that group, and once in the morning we saw the footprints just in 20 meters of our tent, away our tent. He walked during the night close to our tents, and I made a plaster cast of these footprints. It is 38 centimeter long, about 12 inches, like so. Not 12, what is just a moment, about no, I cannot now calculate, that 38 centimeter long. And second time I saw the footprints in Tennessee, in basement of the house where I lived, Janice Carter's house. And that one creature visited the basement of the house, and I make the body, the bottom of the basement, make the soil soft, and after that I saw his footprints, and also made plaster cast of that footprint, and this plaster cast is with me now. That means one creature visited that basement, and after we make plaster cast of his footprints. Twice in my life I saw the footprints of these creatures only. Thank you.
Real quick, Igor, also Shannon Avalon told me to tell you hello.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, we're down to about 10 minutes left of the show. Ron, what do you got? You got any thoughts on everything that we're discussing at this point?
Well, you know, I'm going to have to jump off the bridge again. I guess the best way to find a Bigfoot is to take a horse out in the woods and tie it to a tree without its mane braided, and then maybe a Bigfoot will come up and braid its mane, and then somebody can get a picture of it while it's got its attention on the horse's mane.
Well,
I had to go there. I'm sorry.
I know you did. I know you did.
Well, you know,
again,
it wasn't Patterson was riding a horse, so maybe there's something to that.
What about that?
Bring the horse out there, mane braided or not, and see if that helps.
Good.
Get someone to dress up in a good quality Bigfoot costume, cover themselves in ape pheromones, and carry one of those cameras like the Man vs. Wild dude does. Surely you'll get something then. Maybe shot at.
We're not making fun, Igor. It's one of those things where, you know, I am not, and I never have claimed to be any type of expert in this field. I am just as much in the dark about this subject as probably the majority of people who are researching it, because this creature that we call Bigfoot seems to be so well elusive from all of us that it's hard to study something that you can't observe on a regular basis. So it's very hard, you know, to, you know, most of what we know, or at least the most of what I know, has just been mainly from observations and, you know, just accounts from different people about what they've seen. It's just, you know, it's very hard to really study something that doesn't make itself seen.
Yeah. I wasn't taking a shot at Igor, by the way. That's just frustration speaking.
Yeah, I know you wasn't, Ron. I just wanted to make sure Igor understood that, because I know there's a little bit of obviously a language barrier between us and Igor, and I just wanted to make sure he knew that we wasn't making fun of him. You know, because we're not Igor. We have a lot of respect for the work that you have done, Igor.
Oh, thank you.
DB.
Yes, sir.
I know you got some more.
We didn't get any more questions that I saw, but I did. I was able to convert the 38 centimeters into inches, and it's almost 15 inches. So that would the way we measure it, it's almost
14. I remind 14 inches it was, 35 centimeters. 35. Sorry.
Okay.
I was a little wrong.
Okay, so 14 inches there.
14
that's
inches,
a pretty good sized foot. Yeah, that's a good sized foot. There were a couple of things that I thought hadn't been brought up that I would bring up just to put it in people's minds, and that is, you know, the difficulty we have in finding Bigfoot, I think, implies that they have got to have a high degree of intelligence, higher than any ape that we know of, which doesn't mean that they can't be an ape, but they've got to be a very intelligent ape if they are, because they can evade us, they can evade our best high-tech equipment.
Yes.
They do this easily. They do it with ease. They don't have any trouble doing it at all. You know, we can't find their remains, and people will say that's because, you know, the remains, they rot away so quickly. But we do find the remains of other animals that live in the woods, even though we don't find them very frequently. But so far as I know, we have no credible remains. At least there aren't any that we can put our hands on. And these say to me that... Go ahead, Ron.
There are only 2 instances, I'm sorry to cut you off, of chimpanzee in the fossil record, and they were just found really recently when you look at the big picture of things. And so whenever somebody tries to refute why are there no Bigfoot bones found? Well,
I remember reading that. It's the big embarrassment of supposedly the big embarrassment of the people who argue against evolution. They say, aha, but you don't have any monkey remains. But that's, you know, really I'm not talking about the fossil record. I'm talking about finding the ones that have recently died, because we certainly find the remains of gorillas and chimpanzees, and they've been killed by humans. But that's the thing. We're not finding anything about Sasquatch, and I don't know of anybody who's ever been able to kill one where that's been a credible story. I know that there are plenty of stories where, they say they have, but then they can't produce the body. So, what have you got? All you've got is a story. So, to me, there are other indications that this has got to be a creature that's very intelligent. And when you start talking about intelligence, that high, you start, then the distinction between whether it's an ape or a human, it may not matter. It's whatever it is, it's pretty smart, and it evades us.
They have got a gorilla and a chimpanzee that they've taught certain words and sign language to, so they can't communicate with them. And I'm not refuting the intelligence of any of the great apes at all. In fact, I know that they also work with dolphins in a similar manner. So, and how many dogs have you seen that can learn, certain things that you can teach them? There's, horses. There's a lot of smart animals in the world when you think about it. I mean, but as far as the degree of intelligence that man has reached, I would think that if, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it, was man, that by now they would have, picked up the ability to use fire or created a language or whatever. The most primitive men that they found in
there may be something you don't know. And let me say this really fast, because we only got 5 minutes. That is that we know that the brain works in a strange fashion from the way that we experience it. There are parts of your brain that can be damaged that leave you otherwise unaffected but unable to do a certain thing. For instance, there's a certain injury you can get when you can no longer distinguish a horse from a horse with a person on it. That person who's had the injury will always see a horse, whether there's a person on it or not. And that's from a brain injury. Well, if Sasquatch just happens to have a brain that doesn't make the same kinds of connections that we make, they may be incapable of technology. If their brains just happen to be wired a different way, that wouldn't mean that they were necessarily unintelligent, but they would be incapable of doing some of the things that are very easy for us because their brains they don't work that way.
Fair enough.
All right, guys. Well, we're down to like the last 3 minutes. First of all, Igor, thank you for, I realize it's very early in the morning there, and I thank you for making yourself available to come on the show.
Thank you for attention, please. Hi.
Yep, we thank
what? You want me to answer something?
No, I was just saying thank you for coming on the show because we're almost out of time.
Oh, yes. I also thank you for such opportunities. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Igor. And Ron, thank you, too.
Hey, thanks for having me. Had a good
on
time.
The show. I'd like to get you on another show as well, Ron, if you wouldn't mind.
No, sure. I'd love to come on.
So,
anytime I'm in your disposition, please.
Right.
I can participate, and I'm with pleasure in such a program as your radio program.
Thank you very much, Igor.
No.
Well, DB, I enjoyed this show tonight.
I'm tired after 1.5 conversation, 1.5 hour conversation in English. It is not very easy for me because usually I don't use this language, but now I don't understand all, but almost all I understand. Thank you for attention, please.
I guarantee your English is better than my Russian, Igor.
Your English is fine. It's good for we've understood you, so that's the important part. You've been able to make us understand what you're saying.
Thank you.
Thank you, Igor. And just before our live feed goes off, folks, next week we're going to have Henry Franzoni. We'll have Henry Franzoni on the show next week. We're actually going to probably end up making that a 2-hour show as soon as I get some messages back from Henry on that. So that's next week. So that's what we'll have next week. And DB, do you have any final thoughts?
No, I think we're ready to ride on out of here with that song, and we'll catch up with everybody next week.
All right. Thank you, Ron and Igor.
Cheers.
Have fun, guys.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
A legend silently stalks the forest around the world, leaving giant man-like footprints in its wake. Skeptics scoff while the true believers search for the answers, and those who have seen it will never forget. Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, Blog Talk Radio. Billy Willard and the Blog Squatcher present Sasquatch Watch Radio. Your hosts Billy Willard and Dee Dee Donlin bring you 60 minutes of the latest news and information, newly discovered evidence, and interviews with those searching for the truth and those who have seen it. Do you believe? Want to know the truth? It's out there waiting. Monday nights, 9 p.m. Blog Talk Radio. Sasquatch Watch Radio. Sit down, hold on tight, get ready, because it is about to go down. blogtalkradio.com/Sasquatch Watch Radio.
Gatorade. Studied, tested, proven. With over 50 years in the making, it's scientifically researched and game-tested to help replace the electrolytes you lose in sweat. Buy 2 Gatorades for $5.50 at 7-Eleven today. Gatorade. Studied, tested, proven. With over 50 years in the making, it's scientifically researched and game-tested to help replace the electrolytes you lose in sweat. Buy 2 Gatorades for $5.50 at 7-Eleven today.